We joined with Newmarket Celtic manager Alan Goff. Alan, when I do these interviews, I cut straight to it. You know, you've years of managerial experience. League of Ireland with Longford Town, clubs throughout the length and breadth of the country. I mean, too many to mention. But have you ever come across a rivalry as fierce as Avenue and Newmarket? Before we even go to the cup final, the rivalry alone it's off the charts, isn't it?
Well, you're calling me Jack Nicklaus before we even started. I have more clubs than Jack, but yeah, it's a big rivalry. But I've been involved in big games myself before, where I've played for a team in Belfast called Glentoran, who would be predominantly a Protestant team, and their biggest rivals would be Linfield, and you have 12, 13,000 people at that baying for blood. But it's healthy. Pushes Avenue on, it pushes Newmarket on, and we'll embrace it. And it's a cup final, and it's a big rivalry. But listen, that's to be expected. We're only 10 or 15 miles out the road from them, so embrace it. It's great.
The Avenue captain, Ronan, he's stepping in, Ronan Curran. He said it to me. He described it to me as the biggest rivalry in Clare sport, and I think he's right. Throughout Gaelic games, whatever, Newmarket and Avenue, if you put it on in a car park, you draw a crowd.
Well, I can't speak about the Clare hurling or the Clare GAA, to be perfectly honest with you. And I know they're very competitive, and I know the 20s won the All-Ireland against Galway there at the weekend. All I can comment on is our, rivalry with Avenue. And again, I've been there for two games this year. We drew with them here 0-0, and we were very fortunate to beat them 1-0 up in Avenue. So they're competitive games. I know the lads look forward to it. I look forward to it. So it's, the guys know they're going to have to be up for it, and you expect that in a cup final. That's the way it is.
That league win that you had, it took a moment of magic. Let's be honest, Dean Hegarty, it was a moment of brilliance. The other game, 0-0. So there's very little, and there's fine margins when you're competing at this level, isn't it?
Very much so. It's on the day, bit of luck, whatever can go for you. Who embraces the occasion? It can be a referee decision, it can be various bits and pieces. And you're right, Dean got a wonderful goal that day, but I have to say, as you know, Darrow was sent off. We were down to 10 players for, I would say, 40 minutes of the second half plus injury time. And as a man, our team defended magnificently that day. And, I've done a few interviews now with a build-up into the cup final, and I have to comment on the application from the players this year. It's been first class, really has. When we said to them at the start of the season, this is a legacy football club, so every game is a big game. So this is a big game at the weekend. But every game we go out, the players are aware they've got to represent themselves, the club, and more important, the community. And we've tried to do that with integrity this year, and I think we've managed to achieve that.
I spoke with Owen Hayes just before I speak with yourself, and he said to me that he feels that you have instilled steel into the market. Steel that he felt was missing for a couple of years, and he feels that everyone goes out in a red jersey, plays for you and plays 100%. Now, as a manager, if you hear a player say that, surely that must give you pride.
Well, it does, of course. Owen is a very decorated player. He's played for Ireland. He's one of the Newmarkets, if not one of their best players of all time. And to hear that is a great compliment, and I very much appreciate it. But I don't know what's gone on here the last couple of years. My affection with Newmarket is Pat McDade, who sponsors the Ennis Carpets Clare Cup, spoke to me at the start of the year. And where I live, I didn't really want to do it, to be perfectly honest with you. And I met Shane and I met Owen, kind of did it the back way around type of thing. I just wanted to see if there was an appetite from the players, if they were prepared to do the work this year. And they've done it. So it's not about me, it's about the collective here, and we speak about that on a regular basis. The likes of Ian Collins, who's got a really bad injury now, has done his ACL in. Young Kelvin McQueen, 15 when he played for us, he's now 16, playing in a semi-final last day. He's playing in the kids' match there tonight. He asked me, is he starting the weekend? And that's the kind of stuff that keeps me young, because I'm 55, and when we registered him this year, he was 15, so that was the birth date of 2010. How old do I feel? But it's great, it invigorates you. So they're a great group, and I'm delighted to be working with them.
An unbeaten league campaign. Now, and I said this to Owen Hayes as well, that wouldn't be out of the norm from the market over the last 10, 15 years. But the Clare soccer wasn't at the strength at the levels it is at now. It was a four-way title race last year. It was a four-way title race this year. Bridge, Tulla, Avenue and yourselves. And to go unbeaten with the quality of the opposition, that really is impressive stuff, Alan. And I know you don't like taking plaudits, but that is, to go unbeaten with Tulla during the last 16 of Ireland. We know how good the Bridge are, and we know how good Avenue are. It's been a hell of a year.
Well, I have to say it from the start. About 4 or 5 years ago, I co-managed Cool. We won the first division, and Tulla came up. And I see the progression they've made as a club since then, and they're competing at the high end of this league now. But as I said earlier, Derek, every game for Newmarket. If we'd lost one game this year, we would have lost the league. And that's the level that's there now, to be perfectly honest with you. I always say this, we played Ennis. Jack Kelly gets a winner in the 96th minute. We go to Shannon Town only a few weeks ago. It's 0-0. Shane makes a great save at 0-0 to keep us in the game. So there's loads of pivotal moments over the course of the year, but they've worked really hard and they deserve great credit.
Alan, like the quality in Clare soccer, I mean, you would have seen, as you said a few years back with Cool, and you were referencing Tulla there, it has dramatically improved on the last 4 years, because there's teams winning outside of the county, there's teams beating big clubs, perceived big clubs, and sure, Newmarket are royalty when it comes to soccer.
Well, again, I can't speak about stuff that's gone on in the past. I can only comment on what we've managed to achieve this year. And I did an interview earlier on there today, and I just feel facilities in the county of Clare need to be improved on from a soccer basis. It's above my pay grade, but I see the facilities that are here on a GAA basis, and I've managed in Mayo, I've managed in Galway, and I see the facilities that they have there. And I don't know how we're going to get there. We're very fortunate. We've got 2 excellent pitches, but we've outgrown this. This is a massive football club. Our AstroTurf really is not fit for purpose, but there's a massive fundraising campaign here to upgrade our facilities, our dress rooms, etc. So we're trying to go in the right direction, but I don't know if that's funding from the council, funding from whoever.
Would you equate that with, like, seeing as you touched on it, Tulla have fantastic facilities, Avenue have both pitches, their own clubhouse, Bridge have their own clubhouse and 2 pitches. Is it a reason why you're the top 4 teams in the county? Facilities?
I don't know. Maybe that is a reason, to be perfectly honest with you. I hadn't thought about it. But I just think for the good of Clare soccer, I think facilities need to improve. We're trying here. Jody Halpin, our chairman, looks after the pitches here. And I think at the end of the season, we had 6 games left. We had 5 away and 1 at home. And that was testament to the quality of our pitches and the work that he does on it. As I said to you, our AstroTurf that we're standing on now is not fit for purpose. They know that. We're trying to address it. We've problems with our own football club. We're trying to address it. We've good people that are working in the background here. The likes of Grania Hayes, or Grania Cregan, I keep calling her Grania Hayes, is our own sister. Great girl in the background. Jody Halpin, our chairman. Liam Murphy. All people that I deal with on a daily basis are so positive, and will try and help you in any way you can to try and push the thing forward.
You referenced it earlier on, and again there, it's the collective, isn't it? And with Newmarket Celtic, it's like a big family.
Yeah, I have to say, since I've come in here, and again I spoke about Pat McDade, he would be an outsider, I'm an outsider, but in fairness to them here, they've been absolutely superb in terms of what can we do, how can we help you, because don't forget, we had to try and turn a deficit of 10 points behind Avenue from last year, and that was our first objective this year, to try and close the gap. And again, I come back to credit the players, how good they've been, and like the work we've done here, and people don't know this, but we train up there, and you know, on a Tuesday night in November when the muck is up to their shins and these lads are giving me everything you want, that's where the work is done, away from the bright lights. So they deserve their day. They deserve to win a league title. They deserve to get to a cup final and all the rest of the bits and pieces that go with it.
And it's the biggest day in Clare soccer, the cup final. It's the biggest 2 teams and it's the biggest rivalry. So when you put all 3 together, it's going to be an electric occasion, a packed house, and I put it to you that all 22 players that will start deserve to play in front of a crowd, deserve that atmosphere, and deserve all the attention they get this week.
100%, but I would say it again what I said to you earlier on, Derek. Avenue and ourselves, every game is a big game. Because if you go out and get beaten any occasion, like there's a major inquisition why you've been beaten. So it's a cup final, it's on the day, it's a bit of luck, it could be a refereeing decision, hopefully it's not a mistake, hopefully it's a bit of brilliance, and we're very much looking forward to it. We've trained tonight, the mood is good in the camp, we'll do another bit again during the week and we'll get ready for Saturday.
And finally, Alan, as a manager, domestically, I mean, no matter what else about going outside the county or FAI, Munster Juniors, whatever, domestically, you want to be league champions and you want to win your cup, because that's where you're judged at, really, isn't it?
Well, when you're at a big football club like Newmarket and Avenue, yes, I think it is. That's where the pole that you've got to try and get to where you want to try to achieve. And we've managed to do that in the league this year. As I said, we've turned the 10-point deficit around from last year. Now we've a cup final ahead of us. Didn't really think about it too much because our focus has really been on the league, to be perfectly honest with you. We've a small squad. We've had a few injuries. Hopefully we get a few of them back now for the weekend. And we're ready to go. As I said, we're preparing as diligently as we can. And hopefully we'll come out on the right side of it.
And when Pat McDade came to you, and when Shane Cusick and Owen Hayes, and you sat down and spoke to them all, did you write down on a piece of paper domestic double or I'm in trouble?
No, not at all. As I said to you, and again, I'd like to be consistent with everybody in my life, my family, people I work with the players. Our objective, as I said to you earlier on, was to cut the deficit on Avenue, to try and claw into that lead, because in my opinion Newmarket shouldn't be finishing behind 10 points behind anyone in this league. So again, the lads have done it with an incredible amount of hard work, bit of fortune, bit of luck, etc., but ultimately it's come down to what they've done this year.
And with all you've experienced, Glentoran and Longford Town, everything you've experienced, Clare Cup final, you'd like that cup Saturday evening, wouldn't you? As a manager, I mean, you have to have personal pride too, Ellen.
Of course, you have personal pride. And look, listen, we were very fortunate. We've won the league this year, and we're delighted with that. This is a bonus. I always find cup finals are about the supporters, and I have to comment on our support here at Newmarket. They've been absolutely brilliant this year. We've always had roughly 250 people that turn out at our games, and they've travelled. You were there. We spoke in Tipperary when we played St Michael's. They travelled to Waterford. They travelled to Galway. They were in Limerick with us. Absolutely great set of supporters. Lovely people, are there in good and bad. All they want is positivity, and lads are working as hard as they can.
I'm getting a sense of you that we could actually put a Newmarket jersey on you. It means so much at this stage.
Listen, I sat down with Liam and Jody Halpin a couple of weeks ago. And they said to me, you know, how we felt about the year, you know, don't talk about it emotionally. And I said, listen, I can't talk about it without emotion. As I said to you earlier on, we've a small squad here. Of course I'm attached emotionally to the players. When you've got a set of group of boys that are giving you absolutely everything that you have, you can't ask for any more. So if we go out and win on Saturday, great. If we go out and lose on Saturday, that's the way it is. I know from 1 to 20 in my dressing room, including the staff that I have here, Mark, Aaron, Martin, our physio. I mean, people don't know this. Martin, our physio, was due to go away last week. He's a keen athlete. Was supposed to go and do a run last week. Didn't do it. Came back and get it. Harvey came back from Poland to come back and play for us last week. These are things that people don't know about. Fantastic people who are really just at the helm of what we're trying to do here in Newmarket. Put the club before everything else.
Owen Hayes, as I said to you, he said to me that you also give everything for Newmarket. So, I mean, Alan, you have to take pride when a former international speaks so highly of you.
Well, I say this to you. When I decided to do it, the deal was I would come down and do the training once a week and do the games. And that was the deal I did with my wife. However, the type of lad I am in, if I'm in, I'm all in. I can't just stick my toe in the water.
I hope she's not listening to this.
Well, she probably will do anyway. But listen, I love it. I love football. I love sport. As I said to you earlier on about having a 15, 16-year-old kid working with, getting the opportunity to work with that. There's Kevin Hart in the background there, an absolutely Clare legend, not only in soccer, absolute warrior. Captain Clare, to get the honour for me to manage these group of men and have them giving me everything they've got. How could you not be inspired by that? They're great fellas, and I've thoroughly enjoyed working with them.
Delighted to be joined with Owen Hayes. Owen, we spoke recently in Sideline View, and I have to bring it up because you said to me, domestically you had only 2 trophies in 4 years, and that wasn't good enough. Now, every other county would love 2 trophies in 4 years, but in Newmarket, it's all about winning, it's all about titles.
Yeah, it is, and obviously, you know, we won the FAI in 2023, and you know, we thought it was great. And don't get me wrong, it was, and we were going on pretty good runs in and outside of that. But domestically, we'd only won 2 trophies in the last 4 years, and that's 8 out of 8, like 2 out of 8. And I think Avenue won all the other ones. So the reality is that wouldn't be acceptable here in this club with this group of players. So we were delighted, obviously, to win the league. This year was our main goal, and obviously to be in the cup final now is obviously another step in the right direction.
Bread and butter domestically, it's very important for Newmarket. I mean, you're the roll of honour leaders in both league and cup. So, I mean, for Avenue to be the dominant force, and with the greatest respect on, they were the dominant force for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, no, they were, and rightfully so as well. Like, the reality is that the best team always wins the league. I fully believe that. In fairness, the cup could have went either way twice. I think we lost on penalties to them. Could have went either way, like, in fairness, and they'll admit that. So we had a good game that day, and you know, promises probably to be another really good game on Saturday. You know, everyone loves coming to watch Newmarket and Avenue, and you know, it is a great rivalry. They've got really the best out of us, and I'd say if you ask them, they'd probably say the same. They were probably sick of us. You know, I think it was at 8 or 9 in a row there for a while with the cups, and they stopped that run. So, you know, obviously they're looking to right the wrong of the league, I suppose, is what they feel. But the reality is that you know, they've always been there and we've been there, so it's been a great rivalry.
And Clare Cup final day, like, it's the biggest day in Clare soccer. Yes, the league title is obviously, the crown and glory, and the best team does win the league, and anyone can get on a cup run. But to be there on the day in Frank Healy Park, it gets the biggest crowd. Now factor in that it's Avenue and Newmarket, the two most successful clubs. And I'll be honest, the fiercest of rivals. Ronan Curran described it to me as the biggest rivalry in Clare sport.
Yeah, it probably is, and I'd say probably, I play hurling as well, and I don't know, maybe ourselves in the bridge and the hurling would be a fair rivalry, alright. But in soccer, yeah, it's massive, like. But at the same time, I know Ronan well, and a good lad of the lads, and it has sometimes tipped over the edge, and I think both sides will probably agree with that. But looking forward to a really good game on Saturday, and hopefully the best team wins, and that's ultimately it.
And Clare soccer has improved dramatically in the last few years, and we've often spoke about the fact that it was a four-way title race. But I will put it to you that the two best teams in the county are in the cup final, and you don't often get the two best teams in the final.
No, you don't, and sometimes we might avoid each other, or meet each other, in the earlier stages, and that has happened a few years down through the years. I think.
You beat them here last year in the quarter final.
Yeah, we did, yeah. But I think in the years where we haven't won the cup, I think we've only lost to them. I could be corrected wrong, but they stopped the 10 in a row, and I think we won it the year after. And I think they've won it the last 2 years. They've won 2 in a row, yeah, they did. So I think it's kind of been us and them. Now obviously, the Bridge and Tulla have been steadily improving over the last number of years, and their time will come, I'm sure. But like I said, more often than not, the best team kind of ends up there,
And these cup finals, as we saw last year, you come off the bench, you got the winner against Tulla, and in your league meetings with Avenue, 0-0 and 1-0. So I don't imagine, now I'm hoping it will be for all the neutrals a goal fest, but I'd imagine it'll be tight, tactical, and there'll be very, very little between the teams.
Yeah, and if you were to ask people about the Newmarket and Avenue games and why they go to the matches, maybe it isn't the football that they're there to see, and I get that, I totally understand, and they can be cagey, but when teams, particularly junior football, are playing at the best, very often it's teams that defend well, they win their headers, they're good from set pieces, they're steady, and it's sometimes very, very unlikely where it's maybe it's a flash of brilliance like Dean Haggerty above and Ross Levin that turns the tide. But they have had our number the last number of years, but I do feel that we've improved a lot this year. I think we're fitter, we're stronger, we have a great squad. New manager obviously as well has, I think he's kind of instilled a bit of steel into the team as well, like that we probably needed, because it will be needed to win on Saturday.
And look, before I let you go, you went unbeaten in the league, which isn't unusual for Newmarket in years gone by, but it's some achievement when you consider the quality of Avenue, Bridge and Tulla, because Tulla in the last 16 of the FEI, the Bridge, they pushed you in the FEI, they pushed you in the cup semi-final, they pushed you in the league, and yourselves in Avenue, so it really is the cream will be on show.
Yeah, no, we've had a great season domestically. We were disappointed, alright, to go out in the FEI. It was a poor performance, like by our standards, but domestically we've been pretty good. We've lost 2 games all year. Outside of Clare, but domestically we've been very solid, very good back four, with obviously what I consider probably the best keeper in junior football, let's be honest.
In the country,
yeah,
I would say.
100%. And then we've had a fairly steady team all season as well. I know from a personal point of view, last year I was injured for a lot, and I worked hard over the kind of off season to get myself right. And definitely reaping the rewards there as well with that, because there's probably people questioning whether I was still able to do it, and maybe.
Well, I think you showed them when you come on in the cup final last year. You got the winner.
Yeah, but look, I was struggling that day too, if I'm being honest. But straight after that game, I made sure to get myself right, and I think Kev Hartnett, similar age to myself, and a few more, we got ourselves right, because the older lads and the experience is needed, because there's a kind of a narrative that we're an ageing team, but our back four are 20. There's an average age of 20 there with our back four, and our keeper obviously is only in his early 30s. So there's a long road left in this team as well, and people don't realise that. So, we're looking forward to Saturday. Ending the season is very important, but with a victory, we've done it a lot down through the years. So it's been a great kind of way to kind of finish the season, but we're under no illusion that it will be difficult.
Someone, and I don't know who said it, but someone said, no matter what you win, if you lose the last game, the season ends on a flat note. And yet you're league champions and you've had a terrific year. But if you're beaten Saturday, it will be a ball of depression for at least a couple of days, won't it?
Yeah, I know it will. It will. But I'm playing the game long enough, and I've won an awful lot to realise that losing is a part of sport as well. And I'm very respectful of losing as well. People often will say, "Oh, I always remember the days you lost and stuff like that." But I really don't have that mentality at all. We've won an awful lot, and we're very respectful. And there's a reason. I believe, like, when you perform, you more often than not will win, and if you don't perform, you'll probably lose. But it's been a season with a lot of games, and if we do win, it'll be great, and if we don't, we'll pick ourselves up again and go again next season.
And finally, if you could just tell us now, you don't have to, but you didn't start the semi-final and you came on, and people are kind of saying, are you injured, or are you going to be 100%? Because I put it to you, Newmarket Celtic will need an Owen Hayes at 100% to beat Avenue.
Yeah. No, look, I have had a knock. I was injured in the FAI game. I had to come off at half time with a slight knee injury, so I haven't done much in the last few weeks. But I was able to kind of come on the last day and help the team. But whether I'm going to start the next day, I don't know. But either way, I'll be there at the end.
If you're called upon, you'll deliver.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about that.
Delighted to be joined with Kevin Hartnett. Kevin, when I do these interviews, I go straight in, bald-headed like myself. You played in massive games. You played in county finals. You put on that Cratloe jersey and you've gone to war. Is there a bigger rivalry than Avenue and Newmarket? Let's be honest here. I mean, it's the fiercest rivalry in Clare sport, isn't it?
It's up there, all right, yeah. It's a game you must certainly want to come out on top of, and but they're two good teams going at it, and it was both teams behind all the rivalry. There's the utmost respect for each other, and you just want to do what you can for your own club on the day, and hopefully it's enough to come out on top. And was they probably see it the same way as we do as well. We just want to do our best players from a player point of view for your club, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us over the line or this coming Saturday.
If you finish ahead of Avenue in the league table, you're probably crowned champions. If you beat Avenue in the Clare Cup, you're probably winning the Cup. And if Avenue do likewise, they will win. So, I mean, Clare soccer has dramatically improved with Tulla, the Bridge, and it was a four-way title race. But we're still left with the two best teams in the county in the final, aren't we?
There's just going from the way the league has gone this year. It's every game has been a struggle. It's the quality in the league is on the up. You have teams like Bridge coming and you have Tulla coming, and not just those clubs. We've got a run for our money off most teams the last couple of years, and we feel like we take your eye off the ball in any game. Any team can catch you. I don't know whether whether other teams feel the same, but definitely in the last couple of years, like if we don't go in there with the respect for any team, we can be caught off guard. And I know I'm playing about 10 years in this soccer league now, and definitely over the years, Avenue and Newmarket have some cracking games of football, and I'm sure Saturday will be no different. It's kind of a fixture you look forward to, as a player. You want to be part of them days. And
it's the biggest day in Clare soccer. It's the two biggest clubs in the county. And in the league meetings, Kevin, there was only one goal scored in the two matches. You beat them 1-0 and it was a 0-all draw. So we won't be expecting a 5-4 classic, will we? This will be tactical, tight, tense. And I'd put it, there might be a few yellows brandished.
Oh yeah, there always is. It's always fiery at times, and there's a bit of this and a bit of that. But I suppose that's what sparks the interest. That's why you play it.
And that's what draws the supporters.
Yeah. It does, sure. Without that bit of emotion in it, it'll be boring. It's what draws it, as you say. I saw hopefully Saturday will be no different. Hopefully it'll be a few more goals, and it'll be it'll give the supporters a bit more to shout about, and it won't be a dull affair goal-wise. Hopefully there'll be plenty of this and plenty of goals and
Plenty of this and plenty of that.
Yeah, and sure, whoever comes out on top, there'll be handshaking at the end of the game, and that's the way it should be played. I think everyone on both sides sees it the same way.
Finally, look, I spoke to you 2 years ago before the county football final when you were leading out Cratloe. Maybe it's 3 now. I do get old, but I spoke to you down there, and you said, a massive honour, and it was to play in the county final for Cratloe and to lead them out and be captain and so on and so forth. This is also a massive honour, isn't it? To go out into the cauldron of Frank Healy Park against your perennial rivals, whether it be this or that, handshakes afterwards. It's going to be 90 minutes of war, Kevin. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's kind of you've got to prepare yourself for the 90 minutes as a player. You've got to do everything right in the lead up to it, and you want to just get that performance as a player that leave no stone unturned to get that to come out on top in that battle. And I suppose you can look at it, you can call it a war, but I suppose you could just want to, as a player, you just don't want to put a foot wrong for your team and do everything right, and as you get older, then you just want to be. It's a more of an importance to get things right as you get older, and not let the occasion get you. And
I doubt this occasion will get to men of your experience now.
You just keep things in later years. These games have become easier to prepare for. But I remember a young buck, and I remember being looking in younger players' shoes, and remember, you can. When you sense that they're all there, it's just the stage of everyone's journey that they're in, and hopefully now we get things right. Myself, from a personal point of view, I'm not quaking in my boots, please God, but I'm sure I just go out at my age. I just look at it to enjoy every day now, and I'm playing now as a bonus. And
with all you've won, another cup medal, it'd be nice going to the drawer, wouldn't it? Because you've a lot won.
You forget. You wouldn't be counting what you've achieved. You keep playing, and you just enjoy it every day you get out. You do feel fortunate, and I think there's you look at a lad in our squad. We've Don McGannon there. He's playing into his 40s. It's great to be part of a group, and you find as you get older, it's so important, even just to keep fit. It's very fortunate to still be kicking a ball, and
even from even off topic for a second, just for the mental health, to be still playing, to be part of that camaraderie, that team spirit, that never goes away. Everyone wants to be part of that.
Oh yeah, Jesus, yeah. You don't know when your time is up playing team sport, and you may as well just keep enjoying it while you can. And you'll know when it's time, I'm told. You'll know when it's time.
I don't think it's time for you yet, Mr. Hartnett.
No, I don't know. My wife now might tell me I'm done.
Well, I'll ask you again after Saturday, after the full time whistle. We'll see how you feel then.
Yeah.
Or you might have to ask your wife.
I might, yeah. I'd say if we asked her, she'd give a straight answer.
Delighted to be joined with Avenue manager Adrian Walsh. Walla, as they call you, and as I've often known you, Walla, a couple of days out from not just the biggest game in Clare soccer. It's the cup final, it's Avenue, it's Newmarket. I mean, at the start of the year, you know, everyone in the county wants to see these two teams play, and now they're in the cup final, they're on the biggest day. That's why you've put in all the hard work over the last few months, isn't it? To beat Newmarket in the cup final.
Yeah, Derek, how are you getting on? Yeah, look, we're looking forward to it, I suppose, at the start of the season. If you'd have told me we'd be in a cup final, I would have grabbed it with both hands. The way the league has kind of gone with Bridge United and Tulla, Shannon Town the start of the year, and the Newmarket and ourselves, so it's a kind of a, it was kind of nip and tuck, I suppose, towards the end of last season, and you could feel teams coming on. There was a kind of a 3 and 4 horse race, and we felt that with the league and stuff, it was going to be similar, but we're just happy to be in the final, and looking forward to it, as I said, on Saturday evening. You
come into the year league champions. 10 points was the difference, and I know that now from speaking to the Newmarket camp. And their aim was to reduce that 10 point deficit, but they did more than that. They took your league title. Walla, you have to be hurting.
Yeah, but sure. Obviously, like, you know, we've I've said openly, like, you know, it's been a disappointing season, from a club point of view, like in terms of the first team, like we set out at the start of the season to win the domestic cups, the two cups, the League Cup, the Clare Cup, and the league, like, you know, and that's our bread and butter, like, you know. So to have to hand that over is it's a sore one, you know, it's a sore one, but again, as I kind of stated openly, like we've lost a lot of kind of leaders throughout the season. It's not an excuse, but, you know, I'm sure if Newmarket lost the likes of Owen Hayes, Shane Cusack, Kevin Hartnett for the season, like, you know, we could be looking at a totally different scenario in terms of league and cup, to be honest. So we're disappointed, I suppose, that we didn't be closer in the league and maybe win the league. But in terms of the players like McGann, Mark Roach, Conor Mullen injured, Conor Hare injured, Elias Kunz played 2 games, a game and a half, I think. You know, so they're you know, they've been the spine of the team, really, like, you know, for the last 6-7 years, and have won trophy after trophy. So, you know, losing them was difficult, but we are where we are now. You know, we're doing I suppose a lesser. We're looking to do a lesser double as opposed to the league and cup. We're looking to do both cups. You know,
Those players that you know, you've referenced there that you lost, that's a huge blow. But I'd put it to you, still have a dressing room packed with serial winners.
Yeah. You know, the Ronan Kearns of this world, Jack Ryan has come in, stepped up. He was signed last season, and he stepped up to the plate this year. We got a few boys down from Matt and Roy, I suppose. You know, Sean O'Callaghan there as well, like senior. You know, really, really good lads, like, you know, good lads in the dressing room. And then we've sprinkled that then with, I suppose, a good crop of kind of youth, young Ryan Mahoney, Ryan McCarthy at the start of the season, George Quinn, a couple of more B team lads, Matthew Conway, you know. So, and then you have your Colin McCabe, Luke Woodrow, you know, Cuba, and they're all young, like. So I suppose we're young, but, you know, you're still missing. I wouldn't say missing, but that leadership, that real core leadership. We still have serial winners, but, you know, there's still a few more to add to it, I suppose.
I'd put it to you that you also have the best player in the county in
Yeah, we've held on to Nat, which is really, really good, and he's an absolute stalwart, like, you know, he's an absolute machine. You know, and I suppose, yeah, look, we're I suppose maybe slightly in a little bit of a transitional period, but like having the likes of Ronan Kearns, and we kind of got Jack Joyce in as well, like, you know, so they're really good footballers, like on time. You know, these boys make any team, you know, a lot outside of Clare as well, like, you know.
And you're saying transition now, Adrian, but like that Avenue B side, they won the second division title.
Yeah.
Sprinkled with those young fellas you're talking about. So the conveyor belt is still here.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And you look down to the youths as well, like there's a couple of good youths players as well. We had up Salim was playing with us there for a while, and Darlington, like, you know, these guys are, you know, they're kind of ones to watch. No more than down in the market. Scott McQueen, Kelvin McQueen, these boys, like, you know, the same with Avenue. Like, there's a tradition, I suppose, and I would be of the ilk. You know, it doesn't matter what age you are. If you're good enough to hold your own inside in the first team session, you'll be playing. You know, if you put in the hard yards, you'll be in. Like, you know, you'll get your chance. Like, you know, so
after the Ennis time and victory, and look, it was facile enough, as we know. But you being the perfectionist that you are, you were. I could see you were cross at conceding the goal, but I also felt that you were more angry that it was conceded from a set piece. And, you know, you were at the game the night before, the opening 2 goals for Newmarket, both Conor McDaid deliveries, both set pieces, both into the back of the net. That's an area where I'm sure you'll be working on all this week, because Newmarket are prolific from corners and free kicks.
Yeah, sure. Like, I suppose what you're going to see Saturday is probably 2 contrasting games, types of football, you know, and that's not disrespect to the market. They have a way of playing, and that's their way, and they're top notch at playing that way. Set pieces is part of their game, a massive part of their game. You know, so yeah, look, we've worked on it all year, and you're right, I was disappointed. At half time. You know, I couldn't believe we conceded, to be honest about it. So yeah, you could call it perfectionism, but like, you know, you like a clean sheet. Clean sheet is massive, like, you know, and it's going to be massive on Saturday. Clean sheet could win you the game. One goal could win you the game. Like, you know, it could be
70% of goals are scored from set pieces.
Well, there you go. So look, we work on defending and attacking set pieces. I'm sure Newmarket do as well. You know, it's a huge part of their game. So we're well aware of what they'd be up to.
And look, I know I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but set pieces do tend to revolve around the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And you've had several goalkeepers.
Yeah.
You don't have and maybe I'm wrong, but you don't have a nailed on number one. Is that an area of concern, or are you quite
Not
happy
at
to
all.
have
No,
choices that you have?
Yeah, I'm delighted. Like, we have 3 top keepers. We have TJ Ford from Galway, and he won a Connacht Cup with Athenry. And we have Cuba, who's played League of Ireland 20s up to League of Ireland 20s all the way up, and is an Avenue lad. And we've Luke Woodrow, who's he's a monster of a keeper, like, you know. So we're blessed that we have that, because last season at one point, I think Paulie Roach might have had to go on goals, like, you know. So we were kind of struggling that way, you know. So it doesn't really matter for me. For me, like outfield players as well. Some people might say consistency and settle keeper and this, that, and the other thing, but every player needs to know their job and needs to step in and out of the team. You know, so it could be a centre half. Some centre halves that we have might be able to play in the 6. Fullbacks playing a little bit higher, but everybody needs to know their job, you know. And the goalkeeper's no different. We've had a plan all year, and lads have dipped in and out. So we just are where we are, like.
Speaking of goalkeepers and goals, the 2 semi-finals, 7 goals in one, 9 in the other. That's 16 goals in 2 matches.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a betting, well, I am a betting man. There's no way there's going to be anything near that amount of goals on Saturday. You'd imagine this will be tight, tense, and I'd put it to maybe 1 goal could settle it.
Yeah, I suppose the games since I've come into Avenue, we've had last season we went there and beat them 3-0. They came up to our place. We had a man sent off to beat us 4-2. I think it could have been Munster Junior. I think. This season we went down there 0-0. Really, really good competitive game of football. And they came up here then in the league 1-0 worldy goal from Dean Hegarty. Absolute cracker of a goal, like, you know, a moment of magic. You know, really, really good goal, and that was a deciding factor. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if a goal wins it. You know, I don't think the floodgates are going to open. I just think that both defences are too good for the floodgates to open in a game like that. And as you said, look, I was at the semi-final, 4-3, probably, you know, I don't know, maybe the sending off had a bit to do with that. Like, you know, I thought it was a bit more probably one-sided than what people are thinking, you know.
And look, come, you know, Saturday, again with the goals, the goalkeepers and the tight nature, like, it could come down to a shootout. And, like,
Yeah.
I mean, what is your philosophy on that? Now, a lot of people say you can't practice for the situation, but I believe you can practice kicking the ball into a net.
You can practice kicking the ball. I'm not a believer in that, because I think it instills a mindset, that a kind of a small little bit of a fear. So I don't like it. I don't like it when boys practice them. Sometimes they do stay on practice penalties and stuff like that. But I'm a big believer in just going for it, like, you know. So, you know, we'll be going for it. If it does happen to go to extra time, we'll be going for it. Like, shootouts are toss of a coin. Do you know what I mean? You see the Champions League final, it's a toss of a coin, like.
But in those shootouts, like, you could see, even in your reference to the Champions League final, you could see the few minutes are spent with both goalkeepers, showing where players, you know, usually put the ball. Will you have the research on that? You know, Harvey Cullen and Owen Hayes will be hitting them if it comes to it.
Yeah, probably. Look, we'd probably know more about the Marcus penalties than they would about our penalties. Like, you know.
Are you saying you didn't get enough this year?
No, I'm just, you know, like, so. I'll leave that there.
You're being very coy, but look, it is the biggest day. They are your biggest rivals, so they took the league. They took the league title off you, but they're the reigning cup holders. Now, is that not motivation enough? Just give me, you know, take something back off them, because if they beat you, that's a domestic double. That's your league gone. And their cup, and voila, I know you won't sleep if that happens.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, like, it's just another game, like, you know what I mean? And
you're lying to me,
lads, lads, like, in terms of the players and that, if you can't get motivated enough for this, you know, you're wasting your time. You should be just come back out the gates, to be honest about it. You know, these are the games you want to be in every week. You want to be in the big games, the hype around it, the buzz around it. But I mean, the boys, we're preparing exactly the same way as we would prepare every single week. It's about performance. If the boys go out and perform, they'll do the business. If they don't perform, well then.
I don't want to deny you, but the last time you were in a cup final as a manager, you lost with Lifford. Surely, a second defeat in a cup final as a manager. I'm not trying to get you to go under the mattress, but you'll probably go into hiding, will you?
Hibernation. Yeah, the last final was.
It was an achievement to get there.
It was great. Like, we actually won the League Cup that year, and a lot of experienced lads, had played, and we just, if I do remember correctly, the league in their wisdom put us down to play. They put us down to play Newmarket midweek, the week of the cup final, I think it was, yeah. And a game that we should actually, Newmarket lads, remember that we probably, barring a couple of dodgy refereeing decisions, should have probably won, which would have changed the hands of the league title that year, I think, to Avenue, actually. So yeah, we were really disappointed, but it is what it is. Like, it was disappointing. It was a great achievement to get there, but I think the whole occasion, and like a lot of the players that played in that final, there'd be probably 3 or 4, 5 of them probably involved this Saturday. Like, do you know what I mean? And they were a unit at the time. I remember watching them play, going, fuck, these boys are on it, like, and that's what you have to be. You have to be honest. You can't have too many older lads in your team. You need legs. And I suppose on that day, we probably played a little bit to the occasion, I think. There's actually an American player playing. Nathan played in that final also, so it'd be good to renew rivalries.
And I know you're big into performance, and you've said here, if you perform, the result will take care of itself and that. Yeah. But be honest, if the game is the worst game in the history of Clare soccer and an OG wins it for you in the 98th minute, do you really care? Because you'll have the cup. Surely it's about silverware. And I know you're involved with treaty, and I know you're big into development, but it's a cup final. There's a big trophy at the end of it. Does it matter by hook or by crook how you put your hands in it? No,
once you get over the line, I suppose, you know what I mean? But I mean, you have to perform to get there, and you have to perform within the game, I'm a firm believer in that. I don't think it'll be a dour game. I think it'll be a really, really good, competitive, fiery game,
Speaking of the fieriness now, it has spilt over a couple of occasions, and I was speaking with Owen Hayes in the build-up to this, and he freely admitted that it has, and it shouldn't have. He said that the two teams are the fiercest of rivals, but there's also the fiercest of respect.
There is respect there, 100%. Like, that spilling over is probably 3 years maybe since something like that has happened. And I suppose there's probably referee and linesmen and fourth officials now. Whereas before, I don't think, maybe one referee in the middle.
You might get away with a slight one.
You might get away with something, yeah. But no, there's a huge amount of respect, within both clubs. Do you know what I mean? What they've achieved, what we've achieved, yes, albeit locally, But you need to go back. I wasn't even with Avenue at the time. Newmarket won the FAI. Avenue were probably the best team in Clare at the time. Do you know what I mean? Even though Newmarket went on and won us. But they were definitely the best team in the county, my personal opinion anyway, So, and that helps the opponent on, do you know what I mean? No more than Newmarket being, if Newmarket weren't competitive, it'd be, what's the point really, in sport, you know what I mean?
And it draws the crowd, doesn't it? The fact of the competitiveness between Newmarket and Avenue, the rivalry between them. And speaking with Ronan Curran the other day, he described it as the biggest rivalry in Clare sport. Now, I put that to Owen Hayes, and he said, do you know what? I've played hurling for Newmarket for 20 years. The Bridge in Clarecastle would be fierce rivals. He said, he's right. Ronan Curran is right. He said, this is the biggest rivalry within Clare.
I'd probably liken it, Eire and Clarecastle back in the day, maybe, in hurling, it's ferocious, So, as I said, look, it's ferocious, and it's good that it's ferocious, I think. Once it doesn't get silly, but I don't think it will. It'd be a good, hard and fair game, you know what I mean?
And that's what will bring the crowd to Frankie Park. That's what will bring the people to watch it on YouTube. They'll know that both sides are good sides. They're the best two in the county, and they'll go at it hammer and tongs. Yeah,
there'll be a lot of interest. I suppose all the leagues are kind of over now, so there'll be a lot of interest. There'll be a lot of interest from managers outside of the county coming in, looking at players potentially, maybe for the younger lads, So Yeah, there will be huge interest in it. Like, as I said, we're just looking forward to it. Like, can't wait.
And finally, have you? And I know you don't like to think ahead, but have you? Closed your eyes there in the last night or two and said, "Oh yeah, lifting that cup now, beating the Market in the final, it'll be one brilliant summer."
No, I haven't thought about summer. I haven't thought about anything. We're thinking about training tonight, and we'll train later on the week.
That's two lies now you taught me.
We'll review it then, and we look into Saturday, because there's no point getting carried away. If it's one thing I've learned from coaching and managing, that the football gods have a weird way of bringing you down to earth very, very quick. So I don't get carried away in a big win or same as a loss. It's exactly the same all the time.
So Adrian Walsh is telling me we're staying in the moment, and you'll talk to me at 6:30 or maybe 7:30 on Saturday evening.
Maybe, possibly.
Give us a prediction while I go on.
I predict a tight game, a very tight game.
Yeah, 1-0, 1-0.
A tight game.
Well, you're not giving it to me.
A tight game.
A tight game. You heard it here first. Adrian, as always, thanks for your time. Delighted to be joined with Avenue stalwart Jamie Roach. Jamie, you've been playing for this club for 20 years, I would imagine, since the academy days.
Yeah, thereabouts, I suppose, 2021. Since I was 6 or 7, I suppose. My father probably rang me up, and Mark and Gary have been playing too since that age, so I suppose it's just part of us.
And in your 21 years, have you ever faced a bigger rival than the Reds of Newmarket Celtic?
Never, to be honest, yeah. I don't think you can compare it with anything else either. There's a strong hatred there from both sides. On the pitch, definitely, there's a strong hatred from both sides.
And even at youths level, under 16, all the way up, you're always competing against each other, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I suppose most Avenue teams when you're younger were probably very good from my ages up, we'll say. But then when we got into the seniors and whatnot, I think I was first played when I was 16 or something. But we were nowhere near it. We used to go down to the Market, get beat up most games anyway, to be honest with you. And then we kind of got over them maybe once or twice, and probably kind of started to build that bit of hatred into me, and the rest of us, I suppose, more so.
But the tide did turn, we'll say, 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, you've a couple of doubles won, 3 cups in a row won, and I know you're hurting that you lost the league title back to them this year, but there's more than just the two of you now in Clare, which is a good thing for Clare soccer, isn't it? It was a 4-way race last year for the title, and up until a couple of weeks to go, if results had went another way, any one of the 4 teams again could have won that league title. So that just shows how improved Clare soccer has become, considering you go back 5 years ago, toss a coin to either Avenue or Newmarket.
Yeah, definitely, big time. Bridge are coming very strong, I suppose, and so are Tulla. Tulla are always kind of knocking at the door. They're good youth teams and whatnot. So they'll probably be the next 2 in line, I would think, more than likely. They're thereabouts, but I suppose they haven't got over that hurdle yet, which we probably got over maybe 6 years ago. Getting over the hurdle, it is hard, isn't it? It's tough, definitely, yeah. Definitely tough. It takes a lot of losing to get over it, unfortunately.
And look, for you, getting to the final, I mean, the semi-final was obviously you're playing a team 2 divisions below you. So, I mean, you're expected to win, and everyone in the county expects you to win. Does that bring does that make it a bit different than going out facing someone who could potentially beat you? Well, I suppose you're kind of looking, probably you shouldn't be looking at the next game, but I suppose you are, really, being realistic. You're thinking about, who you're going to be playing in the final, because you're expected to get over the likes of any team that you play if they're not Newmarket, Tulla, Bridge, you're expected to get over against those teams. And your squad has been tested. I mean, Conor Mullen, he's just one. He's your captain that's out injured. You've had a host of injuries really this year, and yet you were competitive right up to the last week or so of the league. You're in a cup final and you won a league cup. So it does just show the talent within the club. Your B-side won the 2nd division, and you've some fine youths coming through, and your Avenue through and through. So this means a lot to you.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's good to see the Bees. The Bees have been unbelievable this year. Probably went to, I'd say, 99% of their games, which is good to see them winning. There's a lot of 17, 18-year-olds, even 20-year-olds. They have to learn it somewhere, I suppose.
And for you, does that mean when you go out in the field, you have to perform? Because if your place isn't in jeopardy from the young lads coming through, it's easy to go through the motions. You have to deliver, otherwise the number on your back will be given to a 17-year-old, 18-year-old who's hungry.
Yeah, correct. Well, I suppose I was trying to do that once upon a time too. So I suppose you have to be playing well if you want to be playing those big games.
And on Saturday's game, I spoke with Tiny there and with Walla and stuff. It's going to be tight, isn't it? I mean, right, you could get a cracking game if there's an early goal, but usually it's tactical, it's tight, it's tense. And I would say, you know, there's full-blooded tackles going on, and that's what draws the crowd.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose, being realistic, like, it's the biggest game you'd want to play. Like, I see it as personally, like Celtic Rangers, like there's that much animosity or whatever it is against each other, like, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is.
The good thing though, like, you know, is Owen Hayes referenced it to me, like, but you know, there is that fierce rivalry, but there's also that fierce respect of two good sides. They're the best teams in the county. Let's go at it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you'd know if you'd talk them away on a normal day on the pitch, you wouldn't want to know them, but that's just the way it is, I guess. Like,
yeah, when the ball is there to be won, you're going to win it, and when the whistle's gone, you'll shake hands.
Correct.
But finally, for you, Jamie, you've won a lot. You know, you've won everything that can be won domestically. But I have a feeling that this cup means a bit more than previous ones because of the fact that Newmarket came and took your league title. You're hurting.
Yeah, of course. You don't want to go a season without winning the league or cup. Like, they're the two main ones in Clare, being realistic. And you have to get one of them, to be honest. You have to. Like, I know we're in a bit of a transition here, but like, it's at least we should be looking for ourselves. We need to win one of them. Like, that has to be the case.
A transition year for Avenue though is still dining at the top table.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see, I suppose, Saturday if it is or it isn't. But yeah, I don't think we probably haven't played that well this year in certain things, but Saturday I don't think it's probably the best game that we could be playing to put ourselves up for a game.
Sign of a great team is not playing well and still winning, and you've won quite a lot of matches.
Yeah, correct, but you want that trophy at the end of the day, unfortunately, and that's the only thing I suppose most of us will care about for the next week.
Now, I asked Owen Tyne this and I got no comment, so I'm going to ask you, any chance of a prediction?
I don't know if we'll go to penalties. He thinks penalties, but I don't think so. I think it will be a good game, to be honest. A lot of people are expecting us to be poor enough. But I'd say it could be entertaining.
Delighted to be joined with Avenue Vice Captain Owen Tyne. Owen, I hate to do this, you know, but the last time I interviewed you on an eve of a final, it was the county football final, Rogue Bearfield. It didn't go to plan. Two fierce rivals, you know, in a county final. Fast forward 12 months later, I would put it to you that these are the two biggest rivals in Clare in a cup final.
100%, yeah, definitely. Probably since I joined this team, anyways, you just know the rivalry has built definitely over the last couple of years, because I think this is our third final maybe we're playing against Newmarket now, and every single year it's the same pressure as you go into the game, it's the same drama during the game, like, so yeah, definitely 100% I'd agree with that.
They took your league title off you. Like, you were league champions. Now that league title is sitting below Newmarket. Tiny, I can see by your face that's not making you happy.
No, definitely. Like, they seem to kind of be able to reinvent themselves every single season, basically. And you know, they've added to their squad this year, new manager as well, and they've you know, obviously had a good cup run in Munster, like, but probably hasn't been our best season either. But probably going through a small bit of a transition, but definitely. When it comes to facing the market, no matter if it's a league cup final, it's the same. It's nobody wants to lose that, and it does hurt. It hurts losing the league final, but now we have a chance of revenge now.
Yeah, and yourselves have a new manager as well. Now, I know Adrian was part of the setup last year, but he stepped up to the plate as new manager this year. You got the league cup, and I suppose, look, you just came up short in the league, really. But it was a four-way race for a long time, which is similar to last year, which just shows that Clare soccer is improving, because nobody would just wanted it to be the two-horse race it always was. At least now there's other clubs competing. Yeah,
it's definitely the landscape's changed over the last 2 seasons. Definitely Bridge have kind of formed a team, we'll say, over the last 2 or 3 years that is competing, and obviously beaten us twice this year. Tulla as well have ran us very close, have beaten both Bridge and Newmarket, and they've obviously made great strides as well last 16 in Munster. So it is definitely massively improving Clare soccer, and it's very good for Clare soccer, because, you know, you don't want it a case of Avenue Market going out hockeying teams and you're just waiting for 1 or 2 games a season. You want to see that competitive edge from other teams, and I'm sure over the next couple of years other teams will take the league title. That's the nature of it.
Speaking of competitive edge, I know you are a fierce competitor. Now, you probably hid under a mattress last year after the county football final for a week. So if you don't win this Saturday, I don't think we might see you for a month. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, I think it's win or bust at this stage. Because since I've joined the A team now, I haven't gone a season now without either a league or a cup. Like, so it would be a very tough pill to swallow. So we just have to make sure that we get over the line one way or another, whether that's normal time, penalties, whatever we have to do. You just have to find a way to win. That's what finals are there for. They're there to be won.
And look, it could go to penalties. Your 2 league meetings this year, 0-0 and 1-0. The cup semi-finals, we saw 16 goals in the 2 matches. I don't think we'll see 6 goals, never mind 16 in the cup final.
Yeah, it's strange the way the Newmarket Avenue games often go. Like, sometimes you can have an early goal and suddenly it's a 3-2, it's a 3-all type game, and then like we've had a few 0-alls where nobody wants to make a mistake, and the last time we were in a cup final against them, it was like that. It was probably a poor game, like, and so you do have to be in the back of your head. You have to be ready for penalties, and that's just a case of nerve, really, and who has the bottle to put the ball in the back of the net. Like, most of us are well able to do it when there's no pressure on, but with the pressure on, that's where you need players to step up. Like.
And would it matter to you if you won 4-3 in an absolute classic that everyone is talking about, or you get an OG in the 89th minute and win 1-0? Does it matter as long as you get your hands on the trophy?
It honestly does not matter as long as you get your hands on the trophy. I know anyone who's going to the game wants to see a nice free-flowing game. It may be that, it may be a dour affair, but from a player's perspective, we don't care how we get it done as long as we get it done.
And like, you have the League Cup, so if you can add this, that'd be 2 of the 3 domestic trophies. And the fact is, your league title is below Newmarket, and they have the cup from last year. You want that cup back.
Oh, 100%. Like, you need to, I'm sure we've obviously done a couple of doubles over the last couple of years, and I'm sure in the market that's absolutely hurt them. So it would equally be the same for us if we want to retain it. We want to regain that cup as well. We'd done 3 in a row. This would have been going for 5 in a row this year if we had won it last year as well. So that has to hurt as well, and that comes from within with the players, like to find a way to get over the line and to wrestle at least one of the domestic trophies back off the market. Like.
And finally, look, I've asked them all. Adrian was just there before you to give me a prediction, and no way would he budge except it'll be tight, it'll be tight, it'll be tight. Now, I won't tell you what Newmarket said, but they did give me a scoreline. On time, what's your thoughts?
I'm not going to give a scoreline. I reckon it could be decided by spot kicks. That's my prediction, but I'm not going to say which way.